I was sitting at my desk one day and I got a call from Ben Porter. He told me about the trail and asked me to get involved in it. And I said, Ben, I'm sorry, I just can't do it. A little while later, I got a call from Juanita Jordan asking me the same thing. And I said, you're on, Juanita, what do I need to do? The master plan had some major flaws in it. It had the trail going on the west side of the river, the town side, between stream buffer variants and the railroad right-of-way. You couldn't get a trail in there. We moved the trail to the other side of the river and got a section built from the Spring Street Bridge to the Otis Redding Bridge. All of a sudden, people fell in love with it.
I was requested to go early in my mayoral tenure up to see downtown Greenville and what they had done with their downtown. And there was a trail, a walking trail along the river, and we walked a bit down there and saw what a wonderful interaction it could be and how it had spurred economic development in downtown Greenville. So I began to think, well, gosh, we can use this same thing and spur economic development.
The overall plan was to connect neighborhoods, and we were right there on Glen Ridge Drive with the trail. It was a short hop up to a piece of property that we had acquired, and then there was Jackson Springs Park, which was a Maconville Park. It made perfect sense to run the trail into the park, and then the neighborhoods could come into the park from their homes without driving, get on the trail, and go up and down the river. And that's what the trail system was meant to be. The public wasn't that crazy about it. When it got to be known, there was a lot of opposition, but we went ahead and did it. And I think that was the first step of a lot of successes because people loved the trail.
Just a few days after it opened, I went down to parking lot at Spring Street, and it was full, and there were families out there, and it felt really, really good.
Thank goodness the early folks persevered and built that initial section of trail. I think that really made believers out of a lot of people, especially when they went and saw people of different ages, different races, different socioeconomic status, enjoying one another's presence along the river. It's just great for people to have access to these wonderful God-given amenities that are all around us.
Everybody that was involved in the trail brought a renewed thought process to what could happen downtown. They saw, you know what, if people get together and work together, we can really make things happen. And so that thought process, I think, was really instrumental. It's certainly directly related to people having the mindset that Macon can do what Macon wants to do. It just has to get busy doing it.
The forefathers of Macon, they allowed the railroad to go by the river, the power company, the utilities. Everybody crowded into that corridor for years. And now we come last to the party to try to meander a trail through all that, and it makes it really expensive and really difficult. That's why we just can't build a piece of trail from here to here, because it doesn't work like that. We build trail when land becomes available that we won't trail on, and when funding becomes available. They don't make sense to a lot of people right now because they're disconnected, but ultimately though, as we wind our way through the I-16, I-75 interchange, when it's done, all these connections will work. They'll make sense. You'll be able to get from the Indian Mound to Amerson River Park to downtown Macon, through Rose Hill, through Riverside Cemetery, and hopefully in towards the rest of downtown. The public had no access to the Ocmulgee River through downtown Macon. You drove over it on the bridge and you looked down and that was as close as you got. Now people are actually on the river, enjoying the beauty of the river. What's neat about the trail is it forces people to at least make eye contact or even go so far as to say, hey, how are you? Where, if you're in your car all the time, you don't do that. I think friendships have been formed on the trail, relationships have been formed, business deals have been made on the trail that wouldn't have happened otherwise. But when they get on the trail, they walk beside each other and they talk and things happen.
Newtown wanted to create a unique sense of place for people to enjoy. And I think working with this Rubik's Cube, they lined up all the green spots on one side, and that's the trail that we enjoy today. You've had people since the inception that have really worked hard and had vision and put their heart and soul into this. But more importantly, you have had members of the community to get personally involved. And that makes all the difference. When members of the community get personally involved and they're financially invested as well, you see things really start to happen.
The real benefit of this trail is for the soul of this community. When you see somebody at a walking pace, and they may not say much, but most of the time they'll acknowledge their presence and nod their head, and there's a tiny little connection that takes place.